Ladies and gentlemen, in this video I'm going to show you why Magnus Carlsen, the GOAT of chess, thinks that Alireza Firouzja is the best talent right now in the chess world. I'm going to show you a fantastic bullet game between these two in 2023 Bullet Chess Championship. Alireza was white and Magnus was black. This game shows you also how to refute the Scandinavian defense. Alireza had the white pieces and Magnus had the black. Alireza kicked off with the king's pawn move. He says, I'm the king of chess, I start with the king pawn move. And Magnus replies with the Scandinavian defense. He says, I'm going to test how much do you know about the Scandinavian defense. And it's a bullet game, nobody cares about the opening. Alireza says, I care and I'm going to refute this opening for you. He takes d5, give me your pawn. Magnus brings out his queen. He takes back the pawn, but here it comes, knight c3, attacking the queen. And queen d6. This has been played by lots of players, but mainly championed by Sergei Tivyakov, one of the very strong chess grandmasters. And after this, Alireza plays pawn to d4. Says, are you the GOAT of chess? I'm so much ahead in development. And what are you doing? What is your queen doing on d6? Knight to f6. And here brings another knight, knight to f3. Dear Magnus, please play a good move because I am trying to play knight d5 or knight b5 in so many lines, so it can be dangerous. And here Magnus plays a6 to prevent any kind of knight b5. But suddenly it comes g3 with the idea of bishop going to f4. White is going to harass the black queen. Magnus Carlsen plays pawn to c6. He doesn't know what to do. And here it comes, bishop to f4. Move your queen and go backwards. Magnus says, oh, no, I'm not going back. I'm just coming forward. I'm attacking your b2 pawn. Let's defend it. He says, you're threatening me. Okay, you're talking to me. Me defending my pawn. Just go away from here. a3. What are you going to do? If you take after knight a4, you will lose your queen, and Magnus now realized, okay, I should play queen a5, and here knight d5 came. Knight d5, in some positions even knight c4 is a threat, bishop c4 is a threat, and it's a very dangerous position. Knight b to d7, maybe knight c4 was a better option, but b4, go out of here, queen to d8, and bishop c4. Bishop g2 was also knight, but bishop c4 threatening mate in 1. What could be wrong with this? Knight takes e5, d takes e5, move your knight. And Magnus says, okay, this guy is so serious, even in a bullet game, let's trade queen with him. My specialty and my main power in chess is endgames, so let's go to endgames. But the problem is this knight doesn't have a good square. If it goes to d7, then e6 comes. And where to go? He goes to h5 and says, okay, please give me your bishop. Alireza says, no. Bishop e3. Believe me or not, this guy taking bullet games more seriously than classical games. He plays very perfectly in bullet games. And here comes g6. Okay, securing the g7 square for knight or for bishop. But the knight on g7 to me is just a pure donkey. It's nothing. It cannot move so much. So it's not a knight if it goes to g7. Of course, if it can come back to f5 or e6, it's good. But come on, knight on h5 for now is just a very bad piece. f4, dominating this knight and paralyzing it on this side of the board. And here it comes bishop g4. Let's trade some pieces. Please play bishop e2 so I can trade some pieces. But it comes rook d2. No, I'm not interested in trading. Maybe I will just play king f2 next move. And what are you going to do with your bishop? If you play e6, then knight d4, your dark squares are dead. You are going to be losing the game on dark squares, so you cannot play. Knight g7, Magnus tries to regroup. He says, okay, I'm good at playing positional chess, let's regroup. But here comes the real talent. Knight to a4. I'm going to expose your queen side. What are you going to do? Knight to b6 is coming. He plays b5. Give me one of these two. Is this a fork? No, it's not a fork, dear Magnus. I'm going to take your rook. Okay, I'm playing rook b8. What are you going to do? And now bishop e2. I'm going to exchange your only good piece in the position. This is what we learned from Anatoly Karpov in chess. Exchange your opponent's good piece. No matter if you're winning, losing in a drawish position, you should exchange your opponent's good pieces. Bishop e2. Give me this bishop, and then I will even have some access to d7 square. h5. Okay, I'm going to trade for my own benefit. I'm going to open my h line, but no, I'm just playing h3. What are you going to do? If you take, I just take back. This is it, and then rook hd1. But knight f5 came by Magnus, says, okay. By the way, if bishop takes e2, king takes e2, this position, I believe that it cannot be saved. First of all, knight d7 exists, and then rook to d1 is coming. This bishop is just very bad. For example, if rook d8, rook d1 is already over, so rook c8, for example, and then bishop f2. And if bishop g7, white can once again play rook hd1, and this knight is dominating on d7. It might be crazy on d7, but sometimes it can go to here, sometimes king f3, g4 is coming, so it's a very bad position. Magnus plays what in the game? In the game he plays knight to f5, and Alireza takes, and here knight d7. Only a very small dubious move. Maybe king f2 was better, but knight d7, a very nice idea. And Alireza inviting Magnus to do some tactics, which backfires, of course. He should have played rook d8, and after knight c5, Alireza is in much a better position. e6 is coming, g takes h5 is coming, and rook takes d8. Everything, a6 pawn is losing. This is a horrible position for black, but he takes on c2 check, says, okay, if you take, I will take. Then there is opposite color bishops and everything, but simple king f2. I'm going to take your rook. What are you going to do? I'm going to take your bishop. He just plays rook d8, so if he takes, I will take. But here comes rook hd1, and Magnus Carlsen resigns in 24 moves in a bullet game. A pure domination by Alireza Firouzja, and it sends a signal to Magnus Carlsen, do not play Scandinavian again against me. In this tournament, in Bullet Chess Championship, Alireza defeated Magnus Carlsen finally, and he defeated Hikaru Nakamura. It's 2023, he doesn't actually defeat Hikaru Nakamura, but this was a perfect game. I thought for 1 second that it was 2024. I actually believe that in 2023 he lost to Magnus. I'm not quite sure. You can write down in comments who won the 2023 matchup between Magnus Carlsen and Alireza Firouzja. But for me, playing like this in a bullet game is going for action right from the beginning. He's not those kind of players, okay, like taking things very simply. He's taking things very seriously and playing his best chess even in bullet. And you can see that this guy with very limited amount of time plays very best moves. Of course, in classical game, he's still not one of the best. Maybe he's one of top 10 chess players in the world. But as Magnus said, in classical chess, by so much preparation and by so much by so much thinking or during the moves and during the game. For example, player has 2 hours on the clock and plays blitz out 25 moves, and for 15 moves they have 2 hours to think, and this is crazy for so many players. They can just think and they have pure good calculation, and that's it. That's not talent. Of course, that's hard work that we can also appreciate it, but Alireza have the talent to beat anyone, and he shows it by his fast decision and by his intuition. Intuitions is a clear indication of who has more talent, but talent alone is not enough to be champion of chess. For example, now Indian chess players like Gukesh, Arjun Erigaisi, and Pragnananda are probably more hard workers than Alireza. Whom do you think is the future champion of chess? I probably we know that Gukesh probably is going to win against Ding Liren, but is he going to stay there, or someone like Alireza will come and take the crown from him? We are not sure yet. We don't have someone like Magnus Carlsen yet. He was dominating the chess world for more than a decade, and now there are groups of chess players that are fighting for this title. But let's see who can be the best. And please, you write whom do you support and whom do you think will be one of the greatest of all times in the future of chess. Thank you for watching the video. Support us and enjoy chess and life.